This is Chad. This is about productivity and creativity, part 2. The last video I mentioned basically, in order to be productively creative and creatively productive when pushing to get your big thing done, you're going to have to sleep less. And this is true even if you budget your time all day long. Unless you want the project to drag on indefinitely, you're going to have to simply sleep less and put in way more than 8 hours a day to your project, especially if you have a real job and you want to do something different and you want to transcend your condition and change your situation. You're going to have to basically do 2 jobs. One, your real job, the job that so-called pays your bills or pays your mortgage or whatever you want to call it. And the second job is your big dream that you're doing on spec, that you're doing at a risk, that you're putting yourself on the line for. That could be a total waste of time. It's not, because even if you make mistakes, you're going to find out how not to do something. That said, I thought about this because there's all types of pop cultural things that always come out about sleep, the science of sleep, and how if you don't get 8 hours of sleep, then you're going to die. That's not true. It isn't true. They'll say things like, you'll go into a sleep deficit and you'll never recover it. You'll get all types of autoimmune diseases because you're not sleeping. Your body is more resilient than they give it credit for. All this other stuff is fear-mongering. Yes, of course you have to sleep. You wouldn't have been endowed with the ability to sleep if you didn't have to sleep. You would have been designed and made to not sleep. So of course you have to sleep. I'm not advocating you do crystal meth all night and not sleep. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you can push yourself beyond what you imagine when you're determined and when you're focused and when you're creatively productive. Because likewise, you wouldn't have been created, you wouldn't have been designed and made the way you are, meaning artistic, creative, a dreamer, an innovator, a visionary, an earth mover. You wouldn't have been put here on this planet if you couldn't take what it takes to move that mountain. And if it means sleeping less, then that's the way it is. That's just the reality. That's just the way it is. It is black and white like that. Yes, you can time manage. I've heard all this before. I've done a lot of this stuff. But you have to stretch that time that you're managing. It doesn't mean you manage yourself in 1 and 2 hour blocks with a stopwatch and then you go to bed at 9 or 10 o'clock and you get up at 4 in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning all chipper and ready to do it again. That's not how it happens. Some people simply are not going to be like that. It doesn't matter how much they try to be like that, they're not going to be like that. Lots of creative people stay up a long time, often and late, because that's when they thrive. They're on a roll. They have momentum. Find that momentum, find your sweet spot, and go with it. Manage your time. But don't just think you're going to die or you're going to be in the hospital or you're going to have some type of a disease because you're missing out on some sleep. That's not true at all. Push through. And then when you've done something, reward yourself and sleep for a week. Visit chadglass.com. Thanks.